Hello, welcome to the Third and 10 podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Nguyen. Happy Thursday to you all. Hope you guys are having a great day wherever you guys are. Thank you again for watching and supporting our show. And of course, we are presented by Belly Up Sports and by our sponsors, our sponsor, SeatGeek. Make sure to use the code Belly Up Sports for $20 off for your first order. Restrictions do apply. Brian, my friend, good to see you, buddy. How you doing?
It's you know what? We got a big game for the Knicks tonight, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't want
Yes.
to just win Game 5 in the Garden. Don't let them celebrate at home. It's the same way I felt about the Mets in the NLCS this year. Don't let them celebrate it in New York.
hmm As long as let's be honest. They're gonna likely face the same fate that Minnesota faced
Hmm.
on Wednesday when they lost to OKC. But in this case, you just want them to win, or the Knicks to win. That way, you go back to Indiana. And then if you guys lose there, then you guys lose there.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's
They don't
it's more
celebrate in the Garden
heartbreaking to lose in. It's more, I
in
guess,
New
it
York.
hurts. Yeah,
Yes.
to lose in your own home compared to their home
Hmm.
arena. So, but yeah, otherwise, it's good to see you, my friend. Was worried about a little bit about today. Felt not too great a couple of days ago, but thankfully, a lot of sleep definitely does the
Hmm.
trick. Little update. I know I haven't really watched a lot of movies recently, but on Tuesday, me and my friends went to go see Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, how was it?
Live
I've heard
action
a
one,
lot of mixed.
really good.
I heard a lot of mixed reviews about it.
Being the Disney kid that I am, loved it. No complaints about it. I ain't gonna lie. I watched the original, the original cartoon one.
Like anyone,
Uh,
like
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. Growing up as a kid, definitely almost cried. I wasn't feeling too good that same night when we went to watch it.
Hmm.
So I had my hood on and everything, my hoodie on and everything. So my friends were to my right. So towards the end, the tears started to come out, but I had to like kind of hold it in because I didn't want to see
Right, yeah,
my friends
because
see me
yeah, everyone will
cry.
make fun of you.
Yeah, and go yeah. So I had to like I was low key almost crying towards the end, but it was good for me. I mean, I'm a Disney kid, so that
Hmm.
probably helps out a little bit. Some people who try to think it's gonna be the replica of what the original one is tripping. Sometimes it's better to mix it up a little bit. But yeah, definitely, if you're gonna go give it a watch, we'll definitely recommend it for sure, my friend. Um, but yeah, you're always gonna get mixed reviews with everything. But
Yeah.
personally, I think it was pretty good as well. But I think honestly, this summer has the potential to be one of the best movie summers of recent memory because you have the Lilo and Stitch movie, is doing wonders in terms of box office numbers. You have the new Dragons movie coming out,
Yep.
the live action How to Train Your Dragon to be exact. And then I posted this on my personal Instagram story. The new F1 movie that's coming out uh, next
Yes.
month. Very excited for that one with Brad Pitt. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be. I'm sure there's other movies. Oh, Final Destination is out for those of you who are into that. I think the new Avengers, the Thunderbolts one, isn't doing too great, but if you're into that, that's
I think it's on its way out of the theaters right now. It's kind of been out for like a
yeah,
month already.
kind of a short run in a way. It hasn't
I mean,
really.
that's kind of what all movies. Most movies get like a month or so, and then
Mhm.
every so often a blockbuster will get a couple
Yeah,
like 6 to 8 weeks.
but I was looking at some numbers or yes, some research yesterday in regards to that movie. Numbers wise, they're not doing that great. Thunderbolts.
No, that's just where Marvel's at right now. It's not. They're not Endgame anymore. They've had too many
Yeah,
like duds that they're not like must see anymore.
yeah, it's tough for sure because it's
Yeah.
like you know Iron Man's gone, the original Captain America and Steve Rogers is
Yeah.
gone. I watched the Captain America: Brave New World, which is on Disney Plus. Uh,
Oh,
uh,
good. I will
now,
definitely check that out now.
yeah,
I was waiting for a Disney
it's
Plus. I think that's a
it,
lot of people are doing now at Marvel. They're just gonna wait for it to be on Disney Plus. Although
mhm,
I think the unique marketing of Thunderbolts kind of put some life into it and
a little
got a
bit,
little bit of the vibe back. But they need a
yeah.
lot more. They need a couple more hits before Doomsday to get people
Oh,
Endgame level excited.
oh, for sure, no, definitely, my friend. So, but yeah, just want to mention that real quick. It's been a fun couple of days, just resting up. Work wise, it's gonna be a gauntlet starting today. Going to LA in a few weeks to see the
Nice.
Dodgers Giants game. I do have a question for you before we start the show.
Yep.
So as you know, I'm an A's fan, also a Phillies fan, but mostly an A's fan, a disgruntled A's fan at this time. Oh, God. Um, it's okay to like, get a jersey, get a hat just for the one time, right? In terms of the game itself, or do you feel like, as not a fan of that specific team that you're gonna go see a game to, like a jersey and a hat is necessary? Like, what do you think in general?
What, you want to buy a Dodgers jersey?
Yeah, like just for the occasion, or do
No,
you feel like,
no. You're
well,
not a
why
Dodgers.
is that?
You're not a Dodgers fan. That's
I
why.
know, but like you can't go to a game
No, you
just
can
like
go to games and not wear. You wear either your team or you wear neutral. You don't wear a team of something you don't support. You don't do that.
even
That's
if
big.
even if
No,
you
you
like the
don't do
player,
that. That's a big no-no.
like let's say like okay, so obviously it's my first game
The
at
only way
Dodger
you could do
Stadium.
it if you have a family member or close friend playing for the team and you wear their jersey, because then you're wearing their jersey, not a Dodger jersey.
Mm, gotcha,
But
gotcha.
if
That
you're
makes
just gonna
sense.
rock a Shohei jersey, you're not a Dodger fan. You're
Yeah, that's what I
betraying
was
your
thinking.
team.
Yeah,
You're betraying your team.
I was thinking I get a Shohei jersey because well, he's Asian, I'm Asian. And it's like if there's one player that even though you may not be a fan of the Dodgers, but you're still gonna if you're gonna get a jersey for if anyone, it's Otani because that guy is just generational. So
I mean, yeah,
okay.
but I just see it as betraying your team. You wear your team and that's it. You don't wear other teams.
Okay. Well, good to know. It will be factored into my decision making in terms of my fits for a few weeks out from now.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't impact the show schedule. We'll still have our show on Thursday of that week, and then I'll be dipping the next day. It's gonna be a long day, or long
Mm-hmm.
next few or long few days after, but it's gonna be fun times in the Southern California. So looking forward to that, but. I'm also looking forward to today's show, my friend. Today's agenda is as is. We'll talk about NCAA Football 26 in just a bit. The trailer just came out about a couple hours
Hours ago,
ago.
I think about
A
like
couple
10
hours
a.m.
ago.
Eastern time. That's where I got it. That's what I thought, at
Yes.
least.
Yeah, I watched about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Giants and OTAs. Jaxson Dart putting on a show, not
Mm-hmm.
just on the field stuff. So
Yes.
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Mets, how they take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox, which is a good start, or not really a good start, or not a good start to say, but rather just good overall.
They're getting it done. They're getting it done. Getting
Yes,
the business
that
done.
is correct. And then one team punched their ticket to the NBA Finals with the Oklahoma City Thunder defeating or taking down, I should say, the Minnesota Timberwolves 4-1, and we'll dive into that more in depth. But the Thunder, first team to clinch their spot in the NBA Finals, with another team in the Pacers likely soon to come, whether it's today or the few days after. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started with our first topic of the day, which is NCAA Football 26. Yeah, trailer was good. It got me hyped. The game comes out in a couple months. Very excited, or less than 2 months, I should say. Yeah, I mean, Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith were announced as the cover athletes a few days ago, which was cool to
Mm-hmm.
see. And then in the trailer, we saw those two guys make some highlight plays, but one important, or not really important, but rather one highlight that stood out was the coaches. We're gonna see
Yes.
actual coaches in the
And over
game.
300 coaches, which is crazy. That means you're going to
Yeah.
have not just head coaches, coordinators, maybe like legacy
Mm-hmm.
coaches that are like free agents. Like, could you maybe hire
Oh,
an Urban Meyer at some point, you know?
yeah. That I will say I saw Marcus Freeman. I got super excited. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's Brian
Mm-hmm.
guy.
I was excited. I was so excited. You missed who he's shaking hands with. It's a North
I
Carolina.
didn't
It's
see.
an
I
it's a
missed
North
it.
Carolina coach. Now that brings up the question: is it Belichick? Because Belichick was never in Madden.
Oh, that is true. That is true. I didn't notice that Belichick was. Well, if I watched it
It
again,
does
now I'm
look
gonna
like an
notice
old. It
now.
looks like
But
an older guy and a Belichick fit, but I don't know if it's going to be Belichick or not.
because you didn't see the face, right? It was just like the back
You
of
don't see the
the
face.
guy's.
The focus is Freeman, so
Mm,
you kind of miss it, but you watch it quickly. It's very clearly a North Carolina head coach.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, whether
Yeah.
that's Bill Belichick or like John Wolf that we used to get in Madden 18 and stuff, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, it's a whole mess in its own. The whole North Carolina situation. I think at one
Speaking of North
point.
Carolina situations, I heard on KFC radio today that Jordan had 3 parrots in her college dorm room. That's insane.
Three parents?
Three parrots. Parrots, the bird.
Oh, parrot. I said parents.
Parrots.
I'm like
No. Parrots. Parrots. Three parrots.
in
That's
the
crazy
same
person
dorm.
stuff. In a room.
Mm. Let's be honest. To me, she started crazy from the
Yeah,
moment
but
she
that
started
just
dating
sinks it.
Belichick.
Like, yeah, she
But
heard three birds
this just like
yelling.
yeah, this just verifies it even more how
She says
weird
stuff
she
out
is.
loud, and the three parrots would just mimic it back to her. She goes, "You know what, everyone, this is a good idea." It's like, no, you're just surrounding yourself with birds that mimic you.
Who birds who say it's a good idea? Yeah,
Hmm.
that's. I'm telling you, she's weird. Um,
I mean, I knew she was weird, but I didn't realize she was this weird. Like three parrots, one parrot is kind of weird.
I wonder once they officially. I think they're married. No, they're gonna get
They're
married.
engaged unofficially.
Anyways, I sorry, those two just drive me nuts. I ain't gonna lie. She ruined a lot of things for us as a football consumer. Hard Knocks, that's an
Yeah.
example. So, anyways, I digress. But back to the NCAA. So yeah, we saw the coaches in there. On the cover, so there's gonna be two covers. There's a regular cover and there's the
Deluxe.
deluxe version. So Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams are the two athletes on the regular cover, but on the deluxe, we saw Marcus Freeman in the game, but we also saw arguably the best running back in college football, which is Jeremiah Love,
Hmm.
pretty much near the center or near the front.
Yeah.
Um,
He's like the first guy you see after the first two. It's like
yeah,
you see, you
little
go to
heart.
Williams and Smith, then you go back, and oh, look, there's Love.
This level, doing a little heart
Yep.
thingy majiggy that he's doing. So good to
And
see him.
Freeman's
And
behind
then,
him there too.
oh, he is. I didn't.
Yes.
I gotta like really look at everything because I didn't even see
You have to
Freeman.
like really break it down because there's fans, there's mascots, which has been a lot of people believe we're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
mascot mode back. Um,
I saw
different
Tebow in
traditions
there.
and stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Tebow in there.
Yeah, former
Um,
Heisman, so like we could get like legacy cards. And I
mhm.
saw this morning that we're not gonna have the marching band. The drum line is not gonna be in the game.
Really?
It's gonna
Oh
be like
shoot.
music. Which
Oh, like
if they're smart, they had Enter Sandman, which is Virginia Tech thing in the
yes.
trailer. So if the soundtrack's gonna be like different college songs, like you have like Enter Sandman for Virginia Tech, Mr. Brightside for Michigan, you do um Won't Back Down for Florida, like you know all these different traditions where like you sing it. If that's the soundtrack, that's incredible. That's such an attention to
Mm-hmm.
detail thing.
Yeah, and you mentioned drumline, and you're talking about like the when you start the game up, it's like there's
Yeah, the
band music going on in the background.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That's gonna
hate it.
be now
I
like
ain't
a
gonna.
playlist.
It was cool like the first maybe 100 times I played the game, and then once it passed 100 times, I booted up again. I'm like, oh god, it's like
Yeah.
I might as well put my Spotify playlist on. But like, I would
Hmm.
love to load the game up, and then like you mentioned, Enter Sandman comes in, or like the Cal Fight song starts playing, or something. Just like I
Yeah.
want to hear different stadium or team specific stadium music when I'm loading the game up, and then all that fun stuff. So but yeah, so that was one thing to stand out. So there's going to be stadium specific music that we're going to hear in the game, and like you mentioned, I'll support in the menus as well. Uh, the night atmosphere is going to be a lot better. We're
Yes.
going to see like drone lights in the background, like with the logos and everything. That's going to be fun.
Hmm.
Neyland Stadium was one of the highlights of the trailer that they showed towards the beginning. Um, looks way better compared to what the night atmosphere was in last year's game.
Yeah.
That was
What do you
definitely
mean? It
something
was
that
just like a
stood out.
regular night game? Like just you just open it up and it's
Yeah,
just
like
night.
it looked more. Yeah, it looked more in this trailer. The night atmosphere looks more, I guess,
College.
realistic-ish. Yeah, more not pretty sure it's not a word, but for time's sake, we're gonna
Who
both call it
cares?
college. Love it. Um, and Road to Glory, I played that a few times. Did you play Road to Glory?
Uh, yeah, I played Road to Glory here and there. You would do it like I did a running back. I did a Notre Dame
Mhm.
quarterback. I do
Not as
love.
much as Dynasty,
I
huh?
love the way they introduced Road to Glory. Of like they
Yes,
had the football and then they switched to a high school stadium. Like, oh, that's cool.
that was
That's a cool
lit.
way of like hinting at it. Like, yeah, we are gonna get high school back, which I think was
Yeah.
a, one of the. I think if there was two big complaints about college football, it was the lack of cross play and then the lack of not high school in Road to Glory, because like that's such a huge part. Like everyone has high school. Like MLB The Show has a now they have high school, but they have college, and they had like a prospect showcase. NHL, you do a tournament, So like it was kind of missing, and old NCAA games in high school, so it felt like it was missing that. Now that's added back. Now it's more the games from old.
Yes. So for Road to Glory, in terms of the high school's perspective, so you do get to put your own highlight tape, similar to what we saw in NCAA 14, where we kind of played the games and improved our ratings, and then it's up to us. I guess we could commit early if we wanted to, or when we do commit to a college, we can always enter the transfer portal. And the transfer portal is going to be a big factor because that's going to be also in Dynasty, so that's going to be fun to participate or I guess experience as well in the Dynasty mode of the game. But
Yep.
definitely excited for Road to Glory, man. I think one thing that made that mode special in NCAA 14 was like, instead of in 25 where you get to pick where you go and then start college right off the bat, in 14 it was like, okay, like you can pick the schools that you want to go to, but you're not promised those schools.
No.
Like your first offers, like from freaking, for example, Akron,
right.
out of all places.
Which is realistic.
Yeah.
A lot of these small schools do hop on these, underclassmen who are having a big thing and hope they can grab them early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's going to be fun to definitely, have that high school mode back in Road to Glory and all those things. And then last thing for me, and then I'll see if you have anything else, is the transfer portal stuff. So last year we didn't have it. Well, we did have it last year, but I guess it's going to be more in depth, I guess, with this transfer portal stuff in terms of the dynasty mode. So looking forward to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah, no. I thought the transfer portal was fine because it was just a copy of recruiting, which is kind of what the transfer portal is.
Yeah, so I guess it's gonna be more in depth. So we'll see where that, or how that goes once we get more. My apologies there. We'll see how that goes for sure. Otherwise, in terms of the deep, so there's this the trailer, and then there's also the if you went on the NCAA Football 26 website, you could see like the full article of what the new things are going to add, and we're obviously going to get more information as the weeks go by and more trailers come out, more articles come out about it. Nothing yet on NIL stuff in terms of like recruiting people yet.
I don't know if they'll add that yet because I think it's still such a wild west with it. Because like if you pick Alabama, you'll get everybody.
True. Yeah. I'm thinking about it. It's like, oh hey, we're John from Western Kentucky. Nah, I'm going to Alabama. Why? It's like because it's Alabama.
Because they have money.
Yeah, and you don't. It's like, okay, well, so yeah, maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll see it once we get more information on the game itself. But I'm very excited. Are you pre-ordering the game? I am for sure.
I know we added day of. I'll probably just do that again. Just buy day of on digital.
Good.
So
yeah, I'm If there's any game I'm pre-ordering, it's that. I love NCAA. Love that. Pre-ordered it last year. No doubt doing it again this year for sure, my friend. So yeah. Any other thoughts on the game, my friend? Did you catch anything that I didn't by chance?
Not really. I think it was a minute 30 trailer. Like you're not gonna get much out of it. It was cool to see the stadiums. Cool to see the atmospheres look a little different, and then the little minute details like the coaches and stuff was fun. I'm more excited for like the full like breakdown of like, oh, this is what Road to Glory is gonna have. This is what Dynasty's gonna have. That's more what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that's just the cover athletes. One thing I did see, and I'm sure you saw it too, towards the left. Looking at the cover, if there's one thing I actually saw, it was Denard Robinson, who was the cover athlete of NCAA 14. It was good to see him for sure. But yeah, I'm really impressed with the deluxe cover this year for sure.
Yes.
Not sure if I'm gonna get that one because obviously it's not gonna really matter. I don't think it's gonna matter if
unless you play Ultimate Team, it doesn't really matter. Deluxe. I think Deluxe was more big last year because you could get a week early. I think that's why so many people bought Deluxe because the wait was so long, and it's like, well, if I pay the
True.
extra $20-$30, I can get a week in on this thing. I'm just gonna go do that. Well,
Mm-hmm.
like this year, not that this game doesn't have the hype around it, because it has a lot of hype, but last year's game was so much bigger because it was 10 years in the waiting.
Yeah. Decisions.
Yeah,
Decisions.
it,
And
it really it's that
we'll
simple. If
see.
you want to buy the game on that Tuesday and play it then you get deluxe. If you want to wait for the Friday, then you do that.
Yeah. Probably go for the former in terms of the
Mm-hmm.
instead of the latter, I should say.
Yeah.
But overall, excited about the game. I know you are too, and
Oh yeah.
definitely first goal is rebuilding Cal. I ain't gonna lie, man. You know, I'm never gonna be a fan of any of the teams that I am right now. Always gonna be a New York Giants fan. Always gonna be a Lakers fan. Swear to God, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I've always been a Phillies fan for life since I was little. I can always jump off the A's bandwagon if I wanted to. I'm just saying. I've only been a fan of them for like a few years. I'm just saying I can always jump off the bandwagon. Um, but I will say, hosting this show with you, which has been such a blessing, my friend. I've
Mm-hmm.
grown to love Notre Dame. I've grown to
Right.
love
Yeah.
Notre Dame. The Mets, which is weird because that's why like being an A's fan kind of makes sense because like being a Phillies fan and also rooting for the Mets
Mm-hmm.
is baseball. What's the word? Um,
Treason.
it's yeah, it's baseball treason.
Well, it's more
Um,
Phillies treason. Is what they'll do, and
yeah,
they will
yeah,
actually. I know, and Philly will actually prosecute you for that.
yeah. They'll heckle you like when they heckled the Pacers fan, who
Which,
was
by the way,
walking.
you know what? I want to make a quick statement on that.
Sure, of
By the
course.
way, what the Knicks fan did throw the trash, the Pacers fan, terrible. All this different stuff, awful, condemned, shouldn't happen. But the fact that nobody's covering the fact that a Pacers fan murdered two Knicks fans in Indiana the other day is kind of important because that's way worse than throwing trash at somebody. You're muted.
Yeah, my apologies. Yeah,
The
I just
mugshot's online. It's
I
online,
don't
and no
I
one's
don't
running with it. They're still running with the stupid video of the Knicks fans throwing garbage. We're not going to talk about. All right, yeah, but here's the thing: why was he there? Why would you go to that area in a Pacers jersey? You are asking for trouble. Again, not that he should have garbage thrown at him, but let's not all sit here and pretend that this guy is an innocent bystander. He knew what he was doing.
yeah, because no idiot. Excuse my language there. To the guy, but I'm gonna say it. No idiot goes through a city that your team is playing or of a team that you're playing against or that your favorite team is playing against and rock your team's jersey and
I'm not
expect
going to
that,
Philly after they stole
especially
the
in
Giants jersey.
yeah, especially in New York. Like we're talking about like big cities like
Yeah.
in New York or like in Philadelphia. Like, no, you're gonna get heckled and you're gonna get stuff done. Now, unless you're that Pacers fan who stabbed two New York Knicks fans, that's a different story in itself because
Right.
that's a little bit more serious. That's like
That's the
jail
story you should be
time
running
type
with.
stuff.
That's the one you run with. Who
That's
cares?
that's
Who
the
cares?
one.
You threw
Yeah.
garbage at him. The fan put himself in a stupid situation for rocking a
Hmm.
Halliburton jersey in the middle of the New York celebration. That guy.
Yeah.
Again. I want to reiterate. He shouldn't have had garbage thrown at him. That's wrong. At the same time, let's
He's
not
not
sit here and
innocent.
pretend that he was an innocent bystander. He was
Hmm.
in that crowd. He knew what he was doing. He wanted to get a rise and reaction out of Knicks fans. Did the
He
Knicks
sure
fans
did.
take it too far? 100%. But that guy's not innocent.
No, no doubt about it. And for him to be invited to Game 4, it's if anything, the only people that should be invited are the people that got stabbed because they were just
Well, they can't. They died. They got murdered.
oh,
Yeah, they're
I
dead.
thought
No, he
oh.
killed them. That's that's why people
They
should.
were up in the series. Why the heck
Thank
are we
you.
killing? Oh my god!
That's
And
why I brought this up because we're also crucified Knicks fans for the garbage throwing thing. No one's talking about the other thing that's 10 times worse.
people take it too far, man. I ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna lie. I think so far, the two fan bases that have been terrible are Philly fans as a whole, most Philly fans as a whole, and
80% of Phillies fans, because
yeah,
every year there's
Philly
always a
fans as a
video
whole.
out of Philly. Those fans don't represent us. Then why does every single year we get videos out of Philly? Maybe it's you're the guy that doesn't represent Philly.
Yeah. So, of course, prayers to the two victims, two
Mm-hmm.
families, two victims' families. Oh my God, two families of the victims, I should
Thank
say
you.
that got stabbed. And yeah, I mean, look, man, I get it. You can be a fan of a team, but just don't take it too seriously. I mean, at the end of the day, like you're talking about, lives that are being taken away because of a stupid freaking game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just awful that. Yeah, I just didn't know that they lost their lives. I thought it was just stabbing. They were recovering, but I was wrong there. So, but yeah. Anyways, moving on
Oh
to
wait,
more
hang on. That might be wrong. I might have got bad information. I'm reading this right now.
yeah.
So
Okay.
it looks like those fans that got stabbed are still alive. It looks like it, but I saw on Twitter that they had died.
Hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say. I was
So
like,
I
I
don't know
think
what's going on here.
I think last time I read, I think they're still alive, just in the hospital recovering and
Yes,
stuff. From what
yes,
I
okay, all right. Thank God, they're still alive.
okay, cool, perfect.
That's
All right.
that's my bad for having bad information. That's on me.
Twitter is a dangerous place, my friend.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
exactly.
they're not always right, but um, move on to our next topic here,
Hmm.
which is the Giants. We have some Giants news. I know on Tuesday we talked about how football was kind of quiet, but actually OTAs were going on. Um, so we will get into that right now. The main story, for once, is our quarterback room, and it's not Daniel Jones. That's obviously a part of it, but I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, were wondering how the quarterback situation was going to go, right? Because we do have four quarterbacks on the roster, all with starting experience, and all of them had made a name for themselves, and in some way, shape, or form. Wilson, obviously, with his time in Seattle and Denver, won a Super Bowl with Seattle. We had Jameis Winston, known for his time with the Buccaneers, where he threw for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, but also 30 interceptions. And the interception is a key word there because we'll get into the
Hmm.
interception situation later on in this segment. But
Shocker.
Jackson Dart, yeah, Jackson Dart made a name for himself in Ole Miss and was obviously our second first round pick here in 2025. And then you have Tommy DeVito, who came in as an unknown and started a few games for us the past couple years, and won a few games for us as well as the starter. But yeah, all four of them received team reps during OTA so far, and Brian Dable has a plan that he won't reveal to the public or to the media at all, but he did say that all four will get a chance to participate and do their thing. So, in terms of numbers, and shout out to I believe the Giants reporter I got this from was Dan. I forgot who it was, but from the article I read, Russell Wilson got 15 reps, all with the starters. Jameis Winston also got 15 reps, all with the backups. Jackson Dart got 14 reps. Three of them were with the starters, and then Tommy DeVito was the odd man out. Only received 4 reps at quarterback, all with the reserve team. So,
Hmm.
um, simply put, DeVito is likely going to be off the 53-man roster. If anything, he'll be practice squad type player just based off that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would reveal the stats as well, but apparently during the OTA or during the period where it was like 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 stuff, it was all in the red zone. So the touchdown numbers were a bit inflated, and that
yeah.
just statistically, what, yeah, didn't want to take note of the stats, but
Hmm.
everyone was in attendance for OTAs, which is good to see. Sometimes players aren't.
Well, like Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers.
Yeah, stupid. Or Stephon Diggs with the Patriots.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
he's
what I'm
on
talking
a.
about, right? The Joy Taylor video.
Yeah, that's
That Joy
dumb.
Taylor just didn't realize that Aaron Rodgers hadn't signed
They
yet.
never sign. Like, yeah, of course, the player's not gonna be at the OTAs if you never
Yeah.
sign with the team. It's just Fox.
You know what?
You
Like
know,
there's some times where like, you know what?
I just wonder.
That lawsuit makes a lot more sense now.
Oh, it sure does. Yeah, maybe she knows ball. Just
Hmm.
there's other factors as well as to pause. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Before we get canceled, right, my friend?
Right.
But everyone was in attendance for OTAs for this Giants squad. That doesn't mean all of them participated in any drills and team stuff. Malik Neighbors, who's dealing with a toe injury, he's one guy that did not participate in anything. And let's be honest, I am perfectly
Yeah,
okay
who cares?
with
It's
not seeing
OTAs.
him on the field. Yeah, in matter of fact, it is May 29th as we are recording this. I am fine with not seeing him till like July or something.
Yep.
He can recover as long as he's there, and he can miss some days. It's OTAs, right, man? But in training camp, even if he doesn't participate too much, limited action or stuff like that, just hey, rest up. We need you for the season.
Exactly.
You are our number one guy. You chilling.
hmm
Um, Tyrone
And he's
Tracy was
earning
also
that.
yeah, because he last year had an outstanding rookie season. Was up for rookie of the year, of course, no doubt about it. Who won it again last year? It was
Daniels.
yeah,
Jane
I
Daniels.
apologize, Jane Daniels. There we go. Shout out to him and the Commanders. Great season last year. Um, so yeah, Malik Neighbors was intense, but he's dealing with a toe injury, so keep resting him up. Tyrone Tracy did not participate in anything as well.
Fine.
Andrew Thomas, John Runyon, and Dexter Lawrence were the other three players that did not participate
Fine.
during team drills. And that's all good. All three of them were on the injured reserve list last year.
Yeah.
Might as well rest them up as best you can, I should say, and let them recover and all those things. So especially Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas, both
Yeah, I
guys are
want to
very
see him.
critical.
Like, I'm excited for Darius Alexander, but he's not going to be good unless Dexter Lawrence is ahead of him.
Mm-hmm. And I do have confidence that Darius Alexander can, develop into someone where he doesn't need to depend on someone else to be successful.
Right.
But at this
But
time,
at
he is
this
a
moment in
rookie.
time,
Yeah,
he's
third
very
round
raw.
rookie for a
He's a
reason.
raw prospect, which has been a
Mm-hmm.
big reason why he fell in the draft.
Yeah, third round rookie for a reason, right? So
Exactly.
definitely some time to develop. In terms of so with all the guys that we mentioned being out or not participating in the OTA practices, here is what the starting lineup looks like for the offense and the defense. So for offensively, the first string offense looked like this: Russell Wilson, Devin Singletary, Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt, Wandale Robinson, Theo Johnson, who got a lot bigger this year, it seems like, according to what I saw image-wise. Offensive line looks like this: James Hudson, John Runyon, JMS, Greg Van Roten, and Jermaine Illuminor. Second string offense looked like this: Jameis Winston, Eric Gray, Zach Pascal, Montrell Washington, Daniel Bellinger, Josh Azudu. Don't know why we're putting him on left tackle, but we'll
I
get
think
into
it's
that.
just trying to see if it works. Like, why
It
not?
doesn't. It won't. I'm just saying. Evan Neal, left guard? Question
Love it.
mark.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Really?
Evan
I
Neal at left
thought
guard. Evan Neal
I
at
was
guard. I love.
I was thinking like, oh yeah, I was just thinking more right guard, if anything, but left
Any
guard is
guard
fine too.
position is fine. I think teach them both. Let them learn how to do both.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd just rather him like stay on like one position and learn that one, like just like. And
Right.
when I mean position, I
Well,
mean like
that's the
one
best part of OTAs is you can kind of get
experimenting.
creative with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw some fans like, oh my god, we're putting left guard, Neil on left guard, and all that. Like, why are we doing this? And I'm like, I was overreacting too. Like, and I obviously just did right now, but like, like you are right. Like, it's good to. It's the first 1 or 2 days of OTAs. Yeah.
Exactly. And like, guys, tackles move the guard all the time. Like, I saw the best tweet. I saw a tweet that said like, Evan Neal's about to be the next Eric Flowers, but like the good version of Eric Flowers.
The good version.
I'm
of
like,
Eric
that's
Flowers.
funny. That's funny. That's pretty good.
I hope Evan Neal developed into what Mekhi Becton did when he went from the Jets to the Eagles. Because when he went to guard, dude, holy cow! I think it was a game against the Rams where he just put someone on their backside like that. It was, I think Saquon Barkley saw that. I was like, that's a big old gaping hole right there.
Yeah. Like, sure, he's not the tackle we all wanted. We all, when he was drafted, we expect to be a franchise right tackle. But if we can get guard and get solid guard play out of him, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, because, as much as I love, Runyon and Van Roten, they're not the greatest,
they're average at
guards
best
in the world. So why not try them out? So, so Neal was at left guard with the second string offense. Then we had Austin Schlottman at center, Jake Kubas at right guard, and then our rookie Marcus Bowe at the right tackle position for that second string offense. And the defense without Dexter Lawrence looks like this: Burns, Nunez Roches, Riley, Elijah Chapman, Thibodeau. McFadden, Okereke, Paulson Adebo, Deontay Banks, Drew Phillips, followed by Tyler Newman and Javon Holland to
So you
round
just
up.
throw Lawrence in there, and that's pretty much
Lawrence in
your
there,
day one
Carter,
defense.
yeah, Carter. Whenever we
Yeah.
do see him,
I saw
play
he
and
was
stuff.
doing. Was he on the second team defense? 'Cause I did see him. He was doing some drills yesterday or a
Yeah.
couple days ago.
No, no. Not much on the second string defense. It was
Yeah.
just mostly just starting defense. That was
Yeah.
literally,
Cool.
yeah. So, but yeah. Otherwise, anything
And Carter
on
is
the
still
things.
learning the defense. So think about it.
Yeah,
He was only drafted a month ago.
a month ago or that time, it it flies. But let's
Mm-hmm.
realize it's only been a
To
month.
learn a whole defense, it takes a little time.
It
So
takes some time for
like
sure.
you're like, oh, like so why is Javon Holland out there? Yeah, because he's had like 3 months to learn.
NFL experience.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
NFL experience. He knows how the NFL defense works.
yeah. So, any thoughts on the things I mentioned so far, by any chance, or
Nothing really. I saw that Hyatt had a big day the other day, which is
yeah,
encouraging. A guy we talked about a lot on this show. Like we rather just have him than like a Gabe Davis. So I
that's
really I,
correct.
I really think he's gonna get a shot this year to prove himself and live up to that third round pick.
And I assume you obviously heard of what happened or why his production last year was quite limited. Last year, he was actually in the doghouse.
Yeah.
Last year, he was clashing with upper management and the coaching staff, and kind of got on their quote unquote bad side, and that's why you know he was just mentally checked out. He had 8 catches for 62 yards
Yeah.
in 16 games.
Yeah.
Usually, 8 catches, 62 yards is what you get in one game. This guy had that for the entire season, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him for being checked out, but
At the same
I
time, you're not good enough to be checked out. Like
yeah,
you're a third round pick in your is coming into his third season.
that is correct.
So
Yes,
he was in his
third season.
second year. Like, that's not gonna fly.
Don't want that drama. No,
You
third.
don't want that. You don't want that attached to you because if the Giants say tomorrow we're gonna cut him and that stuff starts circling around the league, guess what? You're not getting another job.
Another job. No, no doubt. Um, and I get it. Like numbers wise, you don't want to see it, especially if you're hired. Like, damn, I want to be more involved. But whether it's the quarterback situation that he was dealing with or anything, like you just gotta just keep your head down and keep working. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he did that last year, but
Yeah.
just
You don't
taking
have
your
the track record to do that.
yeah, taking
The
your anger
talent
out
isn't
on
there.
and taking your anger out on the upper management coaching staff. You can
Mm-hmm.
be frustrated, but like, come on,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's so many things he can improve on, and I hope he does show that improvement. During OTAs and when training camp comes around, I hope he shows that too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, overall, he's someone. Yeah, it was a kind of a new story to hear that he crashed, that he
Yeah,
was
I'm
checked
surprised
out
that it
and
didn't
he
get out
crashed.
last year, which I guess it is a good thing that we kind of keep everything in house and we don't let
hmm
drama kind of spill over. But
We're a secret
still,
organization.
which is good. I rather us not be in the headlines for off the field drama. I don't
I'll
want to be
take
the
it as
Pittsburgh
well.
Steelers. I don't want to be the Jets.
I will take it. But Hyde does look a lot happier, as you all see in the little image there.
Mm-hmm.
He's smiling with our first round rookie quarterback Jaxson Dart, who was described as confident and comfortable and having an aura to him, and that was according to Okereke when he was asked about Dart.
Good.
Um,
And
but yeah,
if Okereke is saying that, that's a good sign. An
yeah.
NFL experienced defensive vet is saying that about your young rookie quarterback who many see as a project. That means that we're ahead of schedule.
hmm Yeah,
I'm telling you,
he's
we're going to see Dart this year. He's going to play this year, whether we like it or not. Dart's getting some action this year.
he is working his way onto the field faster than what I thought. Obviously, he's not going to be starting week 1 or anything, but like
No.
just the way he's, approaching certain things, interacting with his teammates and with the
Mm-hmm.
coaching staff, and Brian Dable coaching them up so much that we like we've seen recently in clips. Yeah, he's definitely going to
It's going
be
to
on
be
the
week
field sooner
15,
rather than you
week
think.
14,
Yeah,
whenever our bye is. It's going to be the
yeah.
next week. He's going to start that game.
Barring some miraculous run by our squad.
Yeah, yes. If we're in a
Yeah,
playoff spot and we're not gonna shake the rock the boat, but if we're
no doubt
not,
about it.
mhm.
Yeah, but Dart has been described as authentic and great to be around. During the OTAs, he was celebrating first with he was the first guy to celebrate with his teammates when a touchdown or a big play happened. He was always high fiving his teammates, tapping guys in the helmets. Even when he's not participating in any drills or any of the 7-on-7, 11-on-11 team reps, he's always talking with somebody, always learning and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to note about this because the reporter who wrote this article was talking about how when he covered Zach Wilson, teammates never felt like Wilson was one of them. That's the opposite with Dart because like there's it's to the point where guys are coming up to Dart themselves to talk about stuff and
Yeah.
to work together instead of Dart just always going to them. Those guys are going to him as well. So um, I, there's nothing but positive things to say about
Yeah.
Dart, and it's refreshing because like we didn't hear that much when it came with like Daniel Jones
No,
or
there was always just
guys like that.
negative. There was
Hmm.
negativity surrounding him. That's all it
Yeah.
was. It was never
Hmm.
positive. It was always like, well, we're gonna pay Daniel Jones that contract. It's only one good season. All this stuff. With Dart, it's nice to know, like, oh my god, this kid's really impressing us.
Yeah. And for those of you who are wondering about his on the field play, and like I mentioned earlier, the stats were a bit,
I mean, like the touchdown stats are inflated, but like
yeah,
if he's going, 10 for 11, that's a good sign.
yeah. Play wise, he did really good actually. There's a play action play where he rolled out, planted his feet, and fired a ball that went past Okereke into the hands of Jalen Hyatt
Mm-hmm.
for a touchdown. There was a play that was a bit not scary in a sense, but questionable. He rolled out and he was scrambling, so with the ball, and he dove for the pylon. It is like I said, we are in May. I don't
That's a
want you guys.
competitor, man. That's a
Yeah,
competitor.
but
It's
that's a
what that's,
dog.
it's all
It's
it
a
is. That's
dog.
a competitor. Like I don't like it because like I don't want this kid breaking his
To get
shoulder or
hurt. Yeah, and the
something.
coaches were
Like
like a bit worried
pulling a
too.
JJ
But
McCarthy. But I do like the fierity and like the tenacity of like I don't care what it is. I'm scoring this touchdown. I will dive.
he's a dog, man. I love it.
Yeah,
He saw
but
us
it's the
gonna fight.
perfect attitude to have because I think Dable has that fieriness to him. They're going to be fiery together and be great.
Yeah,
And they love each
those
other. They absolutely
perfect
love
man.
each other.
Dart has it on multiple occasions. He just loves New York and he loves being coached by Dable. Like
Yeah.
he's making Dable look like he was a top 5 coach of all time, just the way he's talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn, like Jones never talked about like this, like about Dable
Yeah.
like this. Like, sheesh.
Yeah.
But it was a perfect match, and we saw that in the Giants live episode where they were goofing around towards the end of their
Mm-hmm.
pre-draft interview, and I just love those two. I know like whenever Jackson Dart gets brought up, we're always gonna go back to my thoughts on him and when we drafted him instead of Shadur Sanders and how
When
I
you
literally
cried,
almost
when you
yeah I
cried on
know
air.
that'll always be a memory. But I will
No,
say,
it is the greatest moment in this show's history by far.
true. That is
It's if
true.
you have not seen it, go watch it. It's hilarious.
I know. It's on the Belly Up
It's not
Sports
funny
social
for you.
media
It's funny.
channel.
My react. I'm laughing. I think it was funny.
Yeah, funny for everyone else but me because it was tough
Sitting
for
there
me to
eating my
see.
oatmeal cookie, just having a good time.
I know.
Then,
Um,
then as soon as he said this guy looked like Anakin Skywalker, I'm like, in.
yeah, I know. Star Wars reference. Yeah, we drafted two guys in the first round with some sort of Star Wars reference to them, whether it's Abdul Carter with the Darth Vader.
Do you know what Darth
Uh,
Vader's? Do you know what Darth Vader's real name is?
no.
You don't know
I'm sorry.
Darth Vader's real name?
I'm
Who's Darth
sorry.
Vader's son?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
All
No,
right,
sorry.
new
Sorry.
topic. New
Sorry.
topic.
No.
New topic.
Sorry.
No, new
My,
topic.
no.
New
No,
topic.
my bad.
Move
My bad.
on
It
to
was
the
Anakin.
Mets. Jesus
No,
Christ.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was
You
confused.
don't even need to see Star Wars to know who Darth Vader's son
Listen,
is. It's the
it is
biggest twist in movie history.
9:48 in the morning. It is 9:40 in the morning my time. Okay, it is noon your time. My brain isn't 100% quite there yet, so my apologies. There. It's obviously Anakin Skywalker. I knew
That's
that.
his real name. Yes. So Anakin and Darth Vader are the same person.
Oh, interesting. Wait, how does? I'm not gonna question it because
Luke
I'm a bit bad.
Skywalker is Darth Vader's son. Did you not
Oh,
know that?
I got the. Anyways, moving on before I get canceled for not knowing Star Wars. Jesus, Nate. I'm telling you, I'm terrible, buddy. I'm so sorry. I am not the person. If you ever start a Star Wars podcast with, that's not
No,
going to be me, my friend.
I got plenty of people for that.
Yeah, don't ask me. But yeah, and one more thing about Jackson Dart. Usually when a third string quarterback gets reps, and reporters are usually leaving to go, uh, ask the coaches questions or ask the other players that are going to be in the press or in press conference questions as well. But with Dart, a lot of the reporters, even when they were called in to interview the coaches, they stood around and they waited for Dart to be finished because they wanted to see him um, do his thing. And I'm just like, damn, like everyone is just so interested in
Yeah,
what this young man can do. It's just like
there's
I
such
don't
a
know, like it's cool. Like I don't know. I just simple
there's
way.
such a different vibe surrounding this Giants team. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it doesn't feel hopeless anymore. And I guess
It's not.
say whatever you want about Daniel Jones, he was just a black cloud over this organization, and now it's gone. Like
Damn right.
he was kind of the last remnants of like the Gettleman era. And granted, there are a few players by Gettleman, but those players that proved themselves, i.e., Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, Dave Gettleman's whole tenure was summed up by the Daniel Jones pick. Now that he's gone, it kind of feels like we've finally moved on to Shane and Dable.
Bigger and better, happy times around here.
Yeah.
It seems like so. Yeah, this young man is definitely going to be. He has a bright future, and obviously, it's so early, so early, and we
Mm-hmm.
we have yet to see him actually play against,
Real competition.
NFL, yeah, real competition. So, but I hope when he does, though, he'll be
I hope he
ready, and
gets a lot of
he'll.
reps in the preseason. That's all I
I
hope.
hope he does too.
I don't need to see Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston playing 4 drives a game. I need like 2 drives out of them each, and then I need Dart the rest of the game.
Yeah, if Anthony Dart gets the whole second half, I don't even want to see DeVito. I'm good.
Yeah. We know
I'm
what
good.
DeVito is. We see DeVito in NFL. We know what DeVito is. We don't know
Yeah,
what
and
Dart is.
it's not gonna make the roster. If anything, DeVito plays the fourth quarter, and maybe Dart takes second and third. I don't know. We'll see what the preseason looks
Yeah.
like, but I want to
Unless
see
you do
what Dart.
like you do you give Russell Wilson and Jameis the first. Dart gets the second, the third, and most of the fourth, and in garbage time you put DeVito out there just to avoid injury.
I think there's three
Maybe
preseason
that's what you
games,
do.
so yeah, there's three preseason games. So if anything, I would want to see Russ and Winston in like the first two games
Yeah.
of preseason, and then say that third one just for Dart and DeVito to just do their thing,
Mm-hmm.
mostly Dart than anything. So, but yeah, any other thoughts on Dart, my friend? I mean, like I said, a
No,
lot of
I'm just
positive
really
thoughts about
excited.
him.
I love what I've heard about him so far. I think
Yeah,
he's very quickly quieting the concerns around him.
yeah. And he's quieting those concerns for me, I would say. So just love that young man, and definitely trying to see what he's got. When he does play against real competition. So, but in terms of around his teammates and around the team as a whole, with the coaching staff and whatnot, he's making a really really great impression. Speaking of quarterbacks, though, Jameis Winston's first pass. Oh, well,
I
TA's
sent
Leonard
this to
was
like
yeah.
everybody. I'm like, bro, are you shocked? my one buddy's like, wait a minute, you're
Here we
telling me
go.
Jameis Winston threw an interception?
Yep.
No, that can't be right.
First play, first pass was an interception to Dane Belton, the backup safety. Shout out to him, by the way. Yeah, yeah,
I
man,
expect nothing less.
yeah. But it's not too concerning. Obviously, it's the first
It's
few
Jameis Winston. You're
OTAs.
gonna get 15 interceptions a year. That's what you just
Mhm.
sign up for.
Yeah, but when he looked bad during the OTA period. So it's yeah. I don't.
He's a backup quarterback.
He's a backup quarterback.
It's
You know,
literally, if we're being honest, I know he's going to be the second string quarterback. He is the third string quarterback on his offense.
because
It's Wilson, Dart, Winston.
Winston as a mentor.
Yeah,
Almost.
Winston is like the break in case of emergency quarterback.
There you go.
God forbid Russell Wilson goes down week 4 and we need to send someone out there. It's Winston, not Dart.
Mm-hmm. Damn right. So that Russ, please stay healthy. That's all. That's all.
Yes, exactly. Russell Wilson, please. I would love to watch a full
Stay
season of
healthy,
Russell Wilson,
man. Please.
Giants quarterback.
We're trying to compete this
Although
year.
I really wouldn't mind Jameis Winston. If we're gonna be bad, at least be entertaining, which is what
Yeah.
Winston gets you.
And once in a while, we'll have his highlight plays. Like, sure, the picks will frustrate the heck out of us, but
Yeah.
the highlights, deep play, the
Look at the
highlights,
Broncos Browns game from last year. I think Winston threw 5 touchdown passes and also threw 3 interceptions that game. That's the kind of performance that's the performance I expect out of Jameis Winston.
wasn't that the same game where he asked God to take the interceptions from him or
No,
whatever?
that was the Steelers game in the
Ah,
snow.
thank you. Thank you, my friend. That's what it was. I love Winston, man, but jeez, I really hope he cuts down on the interceptions this year. I really hope he does
I
if
hope
he
he
does
does
get to
too,
play.
but that kind of takes away from the magic of Jameis
From the
Winston.
fun, yeah. So just
Like
sling it,
Jameis
Jim.
Winston's a fun quarterback because he's a bad quarterback. That's part of his aura. Is he's just an average guy.
Like just sling it at this point. Let's see what happens. But of course, one last thing to note before we move on to MLB and whatnot. Shout out to our secondary. There was a note in the article that our secondary was forcing
NYPD.
quarterbacks. Yeah, they were forcing quarterbacks to hold onto the ball longer than needed, which led to throwaways and led to quote unquote sacks by the defense. So yeah, we're looking forward to our secondary, man, which consists of, I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, Debo, Banks, Phillips, Snoopit, and Holland. 5 guys that are definitely going to be, a key piece to
Oh yeah.
success with this defense for sure.
And
No doubt
if
about it.
they're making quarterbacks hold on to the ball earlier, that just gives more time for Carter and Burns and Thibodeau to get in there. That's all we need.
Mm-mm-mm.
We don't need to
Love
play
it.
lockdown for 30 seconds and force a throwaway. We need to play lockdown for like 5,
Just
6
enough.
seconds. 5, 6
Yeah.
seconds so they can break through.
Quarterbacks usually only have 2 seconds to throw. You force them to do longer than that,
Yeah.
bad things are going to happen for that
Less than
offense
3 or
and
4
good
seconds,
things
we're
for us.
good.
Yeah, we are chilling. So, especially Abdul Carter, once he rips through,
Ugh.
it's over. Woo! I'm excited for our defense, man. Looking forward to it. Please, anyone from that defense, please do not get hurt in preseason. Just put the backups in, okay? Like I don't want to see Carter go down or God forbid Burns, Tips, Lawrence, any of those. I just pray that our entire team is healthy. Um, from now to the preseason, because there's always going to be that one team that has that significant injury
Oh
to
yeah,
a key
happens every
player
year.
that kicks it off for the year. I really hope that's not us. So, alrighty, yeah, June 5th, next media open OTA. So we'll definitely get some more information on the Giants and all that once we get there next week. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to baseball. Long Giants segment, but honestly, every Giants segment we do is long. So, the Mets 2 out of 3 from the White Sox, my friend. Great stuff from you guys. Before we even get to the Mets, I do want to mention real quick: the Rockies lost their 21st consecutive series last night in a row. That is a record now in Major League Baseball. Thoughts before we move on to your Mets?
Oh my God, the Rockies are horrific. They still don't have 10 wins yet. June is fastly
Didn't we just
approaching.
talk about this like Tuesday?
Yes.
Or was it last week? They didn't have 10 wins still.
They still have 10 wins.
Yeah, but the first time you mentioned it was last week or Tuesday?
It might have been last week. Yeah.
Holy crap! It's been a whole week.
Dude, they're bad, and they're like the White Sox were kind of funny. They're not even funny bad. They're just pathetic.
No, this is just
like if you're a Rockies fan, why are you watching? Like, just get excited for Broncos at this point.
And I forgot they don't have the #1 pick this year.
No.
There is nothing to look forward
There's
to if you're a baseball
you got
fan
a
in
horrific
Colorado.
owner who all his money is tied up on Chris Bryant, who has a degenerative back problem, who might not ever play baseball again. And that for a team like the Rockies and an owner as bad as Monfort is, that's going to prevent them from going out to big free agents again. They're not going to sign guys again.
No one wants to go to Colorado. I'm sorry.
Well, hitters do. If you're a hitter, you would love to play in Colorado.
Well, so far they didn't send anyone to free agency.
Well, that's also the owner being cheap because the Chris Bryant contract is scared them. They made him gun shy. They no longer want to pull the trigger on that big free agent.
Well, they make one mistake and they think it's the end of the world. Come on,
but
guys.
that's bad ownership for you. I dealt with it for years with the Wilpons and the Mets. They would sign someone, it wouldn't work out, and they'd be afraid to pull the trigger again.
And now you got Uncle Stevie.
Now I got Uncle Stevie who just pays guys, and it doesn't even affect his bank account.
And speaking about your Mets, man, great stuff from you guys so far against the White Sox. So your thoughts on this series?
Yeah,
And you guys are, I think the next opponent is
the Rockies.
the Rocky. Oh
They
yes,
they
great,
flew
great
actually,
transition,
if
great
you
transition.
look on the Rockies Twitter account today, they posted a really cool picture. They were flying into New York and they saw the Northern Lights over the city. So like it's a
Wow.
so like if you want, go look at it. It's an amazing picture. Amazing picture out of their window. But yep, Mets 2 or 3 from the White Sox. Would a sweep be nice? Absolutely. But you know what? In baseball, all you can ask for is series wins. If you win every single series you play in, you win 108 games. That's great. You know, if a team's as bad as the White Sox and the Rockies coming in, your mind is always on sweep. And it was a little bit annoying yesterday. Like, 9 for 4, lost 9-4. A weird day. The game got moved up like an hour beforehand. It was supposed to be played at 7, moved up to 1 because of the weather and stuff. No big deal. Stuff like that happens. Every good team loses 60 games a year. Sometimes you just lose bad games to the White Sox. I will say, though, a little concerning is that Eric Chavez just had a meeting with players about runners hitting with runners in scoring position. Like, this has been a problem for over 2 months now, as the Mets cannot just get that big hit. They can't. I think they're batting like under 200 as a team with runners in scoring position. Soto struggles around scoring position have been well documented. So something needs to change. A lot of fans have called for Chavez to be fired. And I don't know. I'm torn with the fire because, yes, I don't think the approach at the plate is great. But at the same time, I don't think firing him fixes anything. Like, firing a position coach is just kind of, it doesn't do much. It's like firing a coordinator. Like, the problem is still there. You just have a new guy there. But if the Mets do want to go down that road and do want to fire their hitting coach, the guy they should bring in is JD Martinez. I know JD Martinez was a player last year for us, and he probably still wants to play. But anyone will tell you on that Mets team, the Mets started hitting when JD Martinez was called up. Mark Vientos credits his rookie season a lot to JD Martinez. I don't know what it was about him, but he had this aura that like fed into the team, got the guys going. I think if they do fire Chavez and want to go a different direction, that's the guy they have to bring in.
Alrighty, yeah, I was taking some notes here
Mm-hmm.
for another topic I want to bring up in just a bit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I do want to. I did have a few questions about the Mets.
Yeah.
I was
Go.
do some research yesterday, and
Mm-hmm.
shout out to your boys, by the way. And at this point in time, an 83% chance you guys make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not that it's a shocker or anything, but just
No.
wanted to bring that
We're the
number up.
top wild card spot. Everyone's like freaking out that like the Phillies are in first place. All right, guys, it's May 29th, and we're in the first
Exactly.
wild card spot up 2 games. We're fine.
Hmm. And let's be
Relax.
honest, just because you're in first place doesn't mean you're gonna win the whole
No.
freaking thingamajig.
Met fans should know
Um,
this. They were in first place for all of 2022 and lost the final weekend.
hmm So that doesn't mean anything if you finish in. If you win your division, obviously you make the
All it
playoffs. That's
matters is
great.
getting in. That's
Just
all that
get in.
matters, especially with this new playoff format. Just
Hmm.
get in.
The Phillies made the playoffs as the last seed a couple
Didn't the
years ago.
Phillies
Made
win
the
the
World
division
Series.
last year?
Yes. And look what happened. They lost. But when they made the World Series, they were the last wild card team. They fought their way through. That's it. You just got to get in. In regards to the Mets,
Yeah.
Vientos, he had his third. He had a 3-run home run on Wednesday.
Yes.
That was his first one in 46 plate appearances and his second home run in May as a whole. We saw
Yes.
last year where he broke out towards the end of the season, especially in the postseason. He was
Playoffs big
phenomenal.
time. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would know. Well, you
Yeah.
obviously you know, but I would know
Mm-hmm.
because he killed us. He has struggled a little bit this year. So
Yeah. He's
I are you kind of worried? Like, what's your worry level when it comes to him? And do you feel like he's gonna bounce back sooner rather than
on a
later?
scale from 1 to 10. I would say a 4. Like, I'm concerned for this season because who knows if he can, snap out of it. As we've seen, sophomore slumps is a real thing. A lot of guys have insane rookie seasons and kind of fall off. And with the emergence of Brett Beatty, that's kind of taking his third base job away from him. So that might be a mental thing. But overall, I'm not really that concerned with him because Mark Vientos was always going to be a DH. That's, he's always going to be that bad. If he could just focus on hitting and he's not really overly concerned. We had the leadership like Lindor that helped him out a lot last year. I'm not overly concerned. I think we'll get a hot streak here. I don't think we're going to see what we did last year, but I think towards the end, we'll see him kind of finish with like a 250 average, about 30 dingers.
Yeah.
And a big
Offensively,
reason for that is he just can't hit the fastball like he did last year. Like against fastballs last year, he had 326 batting average. This year, it's down to 240. Like that's a massive drop.
yeah, everything offensively wise, everything numbers wise in each category are all down at this point in time. And
Right,
defensively,
yeah.
he has struggled a little bit. So I do hope he bounces back. He was quoted saying, "Once I'm hot, he's back to being himself." So I do hope he does that.
Yeah.
When he gets there, it's for himself and also for the Mets organization as a whole. Because when he gets hot, man, the offense is just
Oh yeah. I think he'll be fine.
sheesh.
And
Yeah.
he did have a good stretch. Like people don't forget that because it's stuck between two really bad ones. He had like a 30-game stretch. He was batting 280 with 5 home runs.
Mm.
So like
this season or like last year?
This season. He got hot. He got hot like I want to say like the middle of April to like early May. He was hot.
But right at this point, yeah. I got
He's
you.
gone back to the cold streak. Yes.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
we have seen flashes of it. We just need the consistency of it, which I hope we'll see once that weather gets nicer, which it should this week.
It's only gonna get hotter, my friend.
It's 80 degrees in Connecticut this week, so hopefully New York we'll see that 80 degrees and that ball be flying.
In terms of a positive, I want to mention Francisco Lindor he's played 162 games at leadoff, which is an entire regular season so far. 295 batting average, 36 homers, 101 RBIs, I think. Yeah, 41
He's
doubles.
found his spot.
Yep, 195 hits and 33 stolen bases. That is a leadoff hitter.
He's found his spot. That's all that matters. Like, if he's comfortable there, who cares if he's not a traditional leadoff hitter? If he's comfortable there, let him hit there. And a big thing that came out this week, or at least this morning, was that Lindor goes to every single player's locker after a series and talks to them about like how the series was. That's a leader. That's a captain. And if they have, he's already the unofficial captain, but I'm really hoping, and I'll be in the building when they put up David Wright's number 5 up the rafters. David Wright hands the captaincy to Francisco Lindor as a passing of the torch.
Citi Field will go nuts.
I'll cry. I will admit. I've already admit that I'm probably going to cry during David Wright's ceremony. That will be waterworks.
Mets legend, David Wright. No doubt about it.
For sure. Career that, people talk about like DeGrom, what his career would be if he'd have injuries. It's David Wright who didn't have injuries. If David Wright didn't have injuries, he might still be playing right now.
Oh, yeah. He was a great hitter, from what I know. Hell of a hitter. Yep. So, all righty, Mets Rockies up next. I was looking at the
and they got the pitching. Image. They got the I believe it's Senga, Peterson. I believe Clay Holmes is pitching Sunday. Yeah, so we got the aces on the mound.
Get the brooms. Brooms ready.
Brooms. Yes,
brooms ready. I should say.
I want the brooms out, but I'm going to be realistic. Just take 2 or 3. Again, keep winning series. That's all that matters. Win the series.
If you consistently win the series throughout the season, you're going to make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Don't matter if you win every series. You win 108 games.
Damn right. 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
You don't got to sweep all the time. So
sweeps are nice, but like, be realistic.
As Mark Davis or Al Davis always said, just win, baby. That's all you got to do.
Mark Davis goes, where's the PF Chang's is what he said.
There you go. Yeah, he ain't no Al Davis. All righty. On to our post-game segment. OKC, hell of a win. 124-94 over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Take the series 4 games to 1, so a gentleman's sweep. Very nice of OKC to give the Timberwolves.
Very that nice game was over in the first quarter yesterday. I expected the Wolves to come out with like a little fire. It's a winner go home kind of game. Yeah. And then I opened my phone to see what it was and I'm like, oh, it's not even
first quarter, right?
Yeah, I'm like, it's not even worth putting this game on right now.
26-9.
Yeah, I'm like, not worth it. I'll do something else.
Nope. I did not watch it all. Last night, the things I did.
I watched towards the end because my buddy's a big Thunder fan, and I wanted to like just congratulate him when he won and chat with him like that. But if he wasn't a big Thunder fan, I wouldn't have watched a single second.
Yeah, last night I was prepping the show, cleaning, playing the show 25. What else did I do? Anything but
Yeah.
watch the game because I know OKC had it in the bag. It
Mm-hmm.
was so this outscored the Minnesota Timberwolves 26-9 in the first quarter, 39-23 in the second quarter. So it was over from by the end of the first half or by the end of the first quarter. But once halftime came, it was
It
over.
was
Let's
a
be
wrap.
honest.
I literally texted him like, so do you bench the starters now?
Yeah, they didn't bench until like the fourth quarter, so they were.
They
I
really could
guess
have benched him in the third, and it would have been fine.
yeah, they were up by like 30 something at the end of the third quarter, and they still kept the starters in, which is
Mm-hmm.
fine. Like no lead is too safe,
Yeah.
I guess. But Shai, Gilgeous Alexander, or SGA for short, 34, 7, and 8, won Finals MVP. And for those of you like, oh my god, the free throw merchant probably shot a lot of free throws in Game Five. Only 4 free throws in Game Five, so he
Hey,
got his
guys,
points
he
the
shoots
hard
a lot
way.
of free throws because no one can guard him. That's why he
Damn
goes to the
right.
line all the time.
Yeah, damn
I was
right.
I was talking with my buddy, and I'm like, do you give Paul George a ring if the Thunder win the finals? Does Paul George get a ring? Because he's the reason why like, like Jay Williams
Yeah,
and Shea are here.
yeah, true. Well, it is gonna be the Paul George Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, George was a member of the Pacers and the Thunder, and as Brian mentioned, the trade that
Trade.
sent
That's why
the.
I'm like, do you give him a ring in like the funniest ring ceremony of all time?
You're like, thank
Because
you,
technically,
PG,
his contributions might be the biggest out of all the players.
because it
Without
helps
him, none of
OKC
them are
land the
there.
young players. Yeah, because it helps OKC land the young players that they have. So,
Exactly.
um, but yeah, very disappointing in Minnesota. You take down LA, you take down Golden State, but you come
Well, I mean, you
against
take
the.
down a Golden State team without Curry.
Yeah,
Like that's
that's true.
I'm not saying it to like say like they're not a good team, but like you had a lot easier path than you probably should have.
You took down a Lakers team that
That's
had
the
a.
impressive one.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Well, not really. It wasn't really.
It had LeBron and Luca. Like,
Oh, I'm freaking sorry. We had no freaking big man, so of course Gobert was gonna cook.
oh yeah,
That's. It was not Ant in that series that won in that series. It was
no.
freaking Gobert. I'm just gonna say that right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you, I knew when Minnesota was gonna face a team that was actually loaded or not loaded, but with the same firepower as them, they were going to lose. And look what happened. They faced OKC, who has a big man, actual, great guards and Shea and just a good supporting cast. They were going to get beat. And
Yeah.
they sure did. Randall, 24 points, was 8 of 14 from the floor. No complaints about him. Then there's Ant. 7 of 18, 1 for
Ant
7 from
Man,
3, 19 points. Next MJ, my butt. Sorry.
face of the league. Come on, no
Come
way.
on. Yeah, sure.
Face of the league is SGA or Joker or Giannis. That's the face of the league right now.
Or
And
Luca.
and
Yeah.
or Luca or LeBron.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
But the
next.
fact that we just rattle off 5 players that are better than than Ant says all you need to know. He's not the face of the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I get that we're trying to find the next quote unquote American, or not quote unquote, but next American player to be the next face of the league. You don't gotta be American, man. Like these foreign born guys are playing better than, let's be honest, any other American. Yeah, better than LeBron, better than
Yeah,
Curry at this
and
point in
like
time. Like
SGA's Canadian. Like that's pretty.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
But like the last 5 MVPs have all been from a foreign country.
yeah. This is
That
good for
just
the sport.
bad for America.
Who's the
Bad
face of
for.
baseball right now?
Oh, Otani, duh, yeah,
Yeah,
Otani.
doesn't
Paul
matter.
Skeens? No, it's
No.
Otani. I had to think for a second. That was terrible. I'm so sorry. The fact that the think for a second is terrible. Um, who's the face of the league for football?
Face of the league of football, Mahomes. It's Mahomes.
Question for next week. We'll save it. I didn't think about that one. I don't think it is.
I'd be pretty. It's Mahomes. He's got 3. He's made the 5 straight. He's made 4 straight Super Bowls. It's Patrick Mahomes. He's won 3 Super Bowls in a very short amount of time. He's the quarterback of the current dynasty.
Dynasty.
You win 3 Super Bowls. That's a dynasty.
Not a row.
They won
you
3
made
Super
3
Bowls.
Super Bowls in a row.
They won 3 Super Bowls in a very short amount of time. They won back-to-back Super Bowls, something that hasn't been done since the 03-04 Patriots dynasty.
Either I'm tripping or part of me thinks that
You're tripping. There's no way you cannot say the Kansas City Chiefs are currently a dynasty.
No, in terms of Mahomes being the face of the league.
I'd be very hard-pressed to find someone else.
We'll discuss it next week on our next episode of the 30 Tip Podcast. By the way, Jaden McDaniels, 2-13 from the floor. So, yeah, way to go, buddy. You go from having, 20 points in Game 4 to the 2 for 13 in Game 5. Trash. Never score again. You're not that guy. You're not that guy. McDaniels. I don't know why. He's so inconsistent. I don't know why Timberwolves fans like him so much. He's trash. Sorry, I just have issues with the Wolves as a whole. Yeah. They shouldn't have been here in the first place. And it's the most inconsistent quote unquote superstar I've ever seen. Randall, whenever things don't go his way, he shuts down.
They're a very hot and cold team.
Don't like Minnesota. Sorry. Don't like them. Never will. They knocked my team out. That has nothing to do with the conversation, but it does add fuel to the fire or the anger in me. Yeah, we shouldn't have lost to this team. It just pisses me off. We lost, 5 games or 6? No, we lost 5. Yeah, we lost 5. Yeah, I'm going to lose my crap. Okay. OKC, first final since 2012. They're going to win it, the whole thing, no matter who they face in the finals?
I think this is the Thunder series to lose. I think they win 5, no matter who they play.
All righty. I will be rooting for Indiana, which they have a 3-1 series lead against the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals at this time. They're likely on their way to their first final since 2000. Tyrese Halliburton, man, with his dad in the suite. His dad was officially back at the Pacers game. Yep. He was in a suite this time. But Halliburton, hell of a game. 32, 12, and 15 in Game 4.
Halliburton's had a legacy series. He's made himself a household name ever since that shot at the end of Game 1. And I know it was only a 2-point shot, but that will live on forever. That will be played on replays forever. It's up there with, I don't want to say it's the same as the Kawhi shot against the Sixers, because that was to win a series. But the way the ball bounced, went up in the air, came in, and the celebration afterwards, that will be on replays forever.
I just wish it was a 3. Because that would have been so iconic.
Yeah, that would have been perfect, yeah.
I mean, it's so iconic now, but not to the level it would have been if if it was a 3 instead of a 2.
Yeah.
He's been great. He's been phenomenal in this series. In the whole playoffs. He's knocked down, he took out the Bucks, took out the Cavs, and he's going to take out the Knicks.
Yeah.
And shout out to them. By the way, the Pacers, 65-23 advantage in fast break points in this series, I believe, if I wrote this down correctly. But yeah, this is over for the next. Karl-Anthony Towns is questionable for Game 5 with
he's playing unless there's something really wrong.
Yeah, but
in a winner go home game, if you can go, you go.
If the Knicks are going to win tonight, what's the key?
Less turnovers. No, yes. Force more turnovers out of the Pacers. I think Halliburton didn't have a single turnover in Game 4. Keep Brunson out of foul troubles, because he doesn't play as hard on defense when he's in foul troubles, and just keep the Pacers fast breaks to a minimum. Don't let them go on big runs like they do.
Yeah, 60 turnovers by the Knicks in this series, averaging. Yeah. So that's an average of 15 per game. Yeah, Brunson, you're gonna have to go for 40. Yeah, and even that may not be enough, because the Pacers are just.
It might not be.
Yeah, so
like I said, just get to Indiana, get back out to Indiana, and then you could lose out there, and we're fine.
Yeah, I think Indiana wraps it up tonight. So
you're unfortunately probably right, and I as an unbiasedly, I'd be shocked if the Pacers don't win tonight. But as a Knicks fan, I'm just get us back out to Indiana, and they can celebrate out there. I'm like that for all my teams. If you go down the series badly like that, 3-1, 3-0. Don't let them celebrate in your home building. That is get a more victory. Don't let them celebrate in your home victory.
That hurts more compared to losing.
It hurts more. Yes.
In a away team's or losing as the home team rather than the away team,
Yeah.
simply put. So, last thing, hockey wise, Panthers 5-3 win over the Hurricanes, ends the series there.
They're up.
Yeah,
Panthers are scary because they are dominant and they have $20 million in cap space this offseason. So they are going to sustain this team for a while.
And they will, I assume that means they will also be able to add some other players to their roster next season. Okay.
The bigger question, and Stano Smooth of Time to BS mentioned me this morning. If you're the Carolina Hurricanes, do you shake things up? Because you've made a few Eastern Conference Finals now, and you either lose to the Rangers or you just get your doors blown off in Eastern Conference Finals. Is it time to fire the general manager and like clean house a little bit and bring in a new vision? Because the current vision they have is not good enough to get them over the hump. This is a very big offseason. The Carolina Hurricanes have a lot of cap space, a lot of young talent coming up. Is it time to maybe put someone else in charge and kind of build the team that can, not just be dominant in the regular season, but be able to withstand the grind that is a Stanley Cup playoff run? And I texted them like, you know what? I think you're right. I do think Carolina might need to consider bringing someone else in. At least do something, whether it be
shake things up.
Coach, shake things up. I'm a new coach. Maybe the Islanders will never do this in a million years, but they are in a weird spot. They had the first overall pick, kind of struggled. They have guys like Barzal and Horvat who are good, but maybe not good enough to get them over. Do you call him and see what it takes to get Ilya Sorokin, one of the best goaltenders in the league? Because that's been a big problem. The Hurricanes need established goaltending. And if I'm then, I don't think I'm going to trade him. Don't get that twisted. But if I'm at least picking up the phone and seeing what it would cost to go get him.
I don't know too much about hockey, but I know Sorokin is one of the best goaltenders, and
yeah, and if the Islanders can move, if the Islanders want to kind of do a reset from the Lou Lamoriello era, trading Sorokin will probably net you an NHL ready player, a first round pick, and a couple prospects and mid round picks. You could probably get a haul. You're gonna have to get a haul for him, but like a franchise altering haul that can get you competitive next year. Then you just need to figure out goaltending.
And then two more things. Oh, one more thing about hockey. Oilers 4-1 win over the Stars the other day. It makes it a 3-1 series now, and that series is going to be over tonight.
So it kind of looks like we're going to have a rematch of last year, which was a very entertaining Stanley Cup last year. And anytime you have Connor McDavid in the Stanley Cup, that's what you want. For years, McDavid was seen as the Mike Trout of hockey, but he was indisputably the best player in the league on a team that couldn't get over the hump, was on a bad team. Now that they're winning, and I don't think they had the goaltending. If they go up against the Panthers again, I think it's the Panthers. But the fact that they can go this far off two players says a lot. If they didn't have Stuart Skinner in that, they would be Stanley Cup champions.
Alrighty. Well, shoot, I do have a few more things to discuss with you, or a few more things real quick before we get to our pickle game. Did you know that 1 year ago today, the Mets were at rock bottom? Jorge Lopez.
See, Jorge Lopez. I remember exactly where I was. I was at my buddy's house. My buddy was a Thunders fan. I was at his house because we were going to the Kenny Chesney concert the next day, which is actually where I got this hat. But we were going there, and I wasn't watching the game. I was hanging out with him. We were driving around, and we got back to his house, and I didn't see the game live, so I read on Twitter what had happened, and I'm like just sitting there shocked, and I had to explain to him what happened. I'm like, bro, our reliever threw his glove in the stands and says he's on the worst team in baseball. He's like, oh my God. He's like, I knew things were not bad. I knew things weren't going well for the Mets. I didn't think they were that bad.
Not this bad.
I'm like, yeah, no, this is a new low for us. This is pretty bad. And then the next day we beat the Diamondbacks, and then we went on the run. OMG, Grimace. Everything.
Yeah, and no one knows where that. Well, obviously, I'm sure you know where Jorge Lopez is at this time. But
Jorge Lopez is pitching with the I believe he's a national, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, good riddance. They suck.
I think I actually tweeted about him the other day. Hang on. If I'm right, yes, Jorge Lopez is a Washington National. He has a win-loss record of 6-0. Guess what his ERA is?
2.5.
Nope. Not even close.
Higher?
Higher.
How are you 6-0?
His ERA is 6.
But how are you 6 and?
Because he probably comes in and they win the game and he was like the pitcher of
That's
record.
dumb.
He probably came in, closed, got 1 out, was taken out, and then they scored in the bottom of whatever inning he pitched in, so he technically gets the win. Again, it shows you why win-loss record and why in every single article I never include win-loss record. It's the most pointless.
Is true.
It's the most pointless stat and does not have. It cannot. The pitcher. There's so many factors to blame it all on pitchers. That's why the same reason I don't think it's a great goalie stat either in hockey. Because what if a goalie stops? 31 to 32 shots, but the team loses 1-0. Well, he stopped 31 shots.
Good point. Yeah, that's true. Well, Mets are in a better place now than they were last year. Well,
yeah,
at that time last year, I should say.
We're in a much better spot right now. We got one. We're
way
good.
Better.
We're fine. We're fine.
Yeah.
This team is in a slump right now, like every baseball team does. We're going to be okay. It's May, guys. We're fine.
It's so early. 2 more headlines real quick. Giants that participated as punt returners in a drill yesterday. Emir Smith-Marset, perfect. Darius Slayton, ? Javon Holland, no. Wandale Robinson, no. Trevor Miller.
I like Wandale.
Nope.
I think he has the speed for it. I think if you want to do a speedy guy, he's not bad. Not bad.
I don't want him. I'm sorry. Trevor Miller, sure. Jordan Bly, don't know who he is, sure. Jordan Washington or Montel Washington. Look, you didn't do it in college. If you didn't do it in college, don't do it here. Nope. Either you did it in college or you have experience doing it before or you're not doing it at all. I'm just saying. So Slayton, nope. Wandale, nope. I never heard those two do it in college. I don't want them doing this level. Unless, like I said, the requirements for me to be our punt returner, like I said, so you have to have done it before in college or you have experience in the pros like Smith-Marset. Or you're a backup to the backup, no pun intended, and you better have trained your butt off, and you better not fumble. If I see one fumble or one muffle in practice, I don't want you. No. Right. I'm sorry.
But at the same time, I don't mind giving Wandale a look because, like we said, it's OTAs. Let's get creative. Let's do stuff.
Yeah,
maybe they see something and they're like, all right, we'll bring it to training camp. We'll bring the preseason and we'll go from there.
I guess. But that's our only slot receiver. Yeah. At this point, he's our only slot receiver. So I'm just like, I don't know if I want him. I guess you're right. It is OTA, so maybe I got to calm my horses down, but I guess. So anyways, let's go to Pickle. Who would you like to guess today?
Let's go Clay Holmes. Let's give him
Clay Holmes. All righty. Shout out to the man. Let's see. It is in the East today.
American.
So he's an American. Let's see. He throws right, bats left.
He's young, too.
Okay, it's not Harper then. Because obviously Harper's in his 30s.
Scary situation to Harper the other day. He didn't get hit on the arm.
Yeah, nice shot, Spencer Strider. You son of a...
Just a bruise, though. Happens.
Yeah, thank God. Bats left, huh? Was Bryson stopped the other day?
Yes. So I doubt they would do a Philly again.
Yeah, you're right. So it's probably going to be a Marlin. Well, I hope it's not. A Brave or a National. What's James Wood?
I think he's a lefty.
I saw him. He's a lefty, right?
Yep. Oh, he's a Nat. Wow.
Ooh, that was close. Shout out to me.
So he's either 20 or 24 or like somewhere between there.
And he is not a left fielder. All right. What other Nationals players can you think of, my friend?
CJ Abrams.
That is a good guess as well.
Yep.
Easy money. Man, we too good at this stuff. I ain't gonna lie, but we are chilling like a villain. All righty. Well, that was fun. That was fun. Probably our fastest pickle in a minute.
The fast one was the Paul Goldschmidt one the other day.
Right. And that was you guessed that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guessed that. That was what, 2 guesses?
I
One guess,
think
3 guess.
so. No, it was 3 because it was like
That's,
we picked I think like Volpe or something. I was like, oh,
yeah, but like rapid
old
fire.
it's an old Yankee. Like, well, it's got to be Goldschmidt.
Well, big Goldschmidt. Those are yeah. So, all right, good stuff there. And that'll do it for another episode of the Third and 10 podcast. You can follow us on our social media. Me at Nathan_Nguyen24. You can follow Brian at BrianPeach1016. You can follow our podcast page at Third and 10 Pod on Twitter, Instagram, the TikTok, and on YouTube as well. And you can find our article work plus all of the other amazing writers and other podcasts at bellyupsports.com. Again, shout out to our sponsor, SeatGeek. Remember, use the code BellyUpSports for $20 off your first order. Restrictions do apply. We thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, we appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on Tuesday. We'll talk a lot more ball. And I forgot to, before we go, there is a new soap coming out.
I did see this.
By Dr. Squash. Sydney Sweeney's bathwater will be part of that soap, and you bet your butt I'll be getting that soap to try it out.
Okay.
And you better not. I thought you were gonna say you're gonna get it too. So you made me look like a. Okay, thanks. Thanks for your non-support today.
I don't think I would say that live. Internet.
Well, I don't care. It's towards the end of the show. So for those of you who made it towards the end of the show, you got a surprise. So we appreciate it.
Oh, that was definitely a surprise. I did not think we're going there.
Yeah, well, I'm getting it. I don't give a fudge. All right, we'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.